Hello and welcome to the Pearls of Wisdom podcast. Today is a very special episode because we're talking about the Pearls of Wisdom virtual online retreat that is running 5th and 6th of September. Now that will be covering business, spirituality and well-being. And my guest today is a very, very special lady. She's been a guest on my podcast previously. We are going to be talking to Vikki Thomas, who is, you know her as the Galactic Unicorn and Guardian Angel. She has been my business coach, I'd say a very good friend and my inspiration for everything I do. And it is a pleasure to say that Vikki is a platinum sponsor of this event. And I'd now like to welcome you. Welcome, Vikki. Welcome to this podcast.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, Pearl. Honestly, it's just an honour to be part of your growth and, you know, to see you absolutely flying as angels do.
That is just thank you. I think to start off with, now, because when we did the last podcast and the introduction where we explained you're a galactic unicorn and a guardian angel, could you put some background into that so that people actually know where that terminology has come from, please?
Yes, of course. Well, when we talk about the galactic unicorn, it's it actually just came out of the blue. I was at a business conference and I was there with the speakers, with Robert Kiyosaki from Rich Dad Poor Dad, and I was chatting to the speakers, and the one guy said to me, J.W. Wilson, he said to me, so who are you? What do you do? But there was lots of other people trying to speak to the speakers. You know, I was with them. And I just came out and said, I'm a galactic unicorn. And, you know what it's like at business events. Everything's busy. The speakers are off doing things and, you know, green screens and all the rest of the things. And he just turned around and he said, I need to come back and speak to you. And that was it. And from there, it kind of grew because, you know, from being in corporate and being a business owner, you know, I've had all the titles of a director and, you know, sort of senior surveyor going up to associate director to going to business owner, you know, all of the, you know, general managers, all of the titles that you have on business cards. And, you know, and it came through that, you know, you're at this big event with lots and lots of people and, you know, you need to stand out from the crowd a little bit. And I could have turned around and said, oh, well, I'm Vikki Thomas. I'm a chartered surveyor. I'm a business owner. I own this business. I run this business. And I could have gone through all of the amazing spiel of the things that I've succeeded and the things that I was doing. But that's just going to put me back into the boring crowd, isn't it? So I just turned around and it came because I do a lot of spiritual work. I do a lot of healing work. I work with the galactic teams from quantum healing and things, and so it just came out, and I just said I'm a galactic unicorn, and since then it's grown because I didn't want to be put into a box of labeling myself so much. I prefer to be labeled as a galactic unicorn than a chartered surveyor and a business owner and a property developer and an investor and all those. They're boring. So, so that's how the galactic unicorn came from.
It's you are an inspiration to me, and I think you're an inspiration to so many other people. And like I mentioned the podcast previously, it's one of the most popular of all the guest speakers interviews I've done is yours, because we learn so much from you. And as I introduced you, the first time I worked with you was as a one-to-one elite business coach, and you are phenomenal. Ever since we've been connected, I can remember when you would run in your courses and you were doing a retreat, a few days with Baroness Michelle Mone, and I tried to move everything to get there. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it, but I got even better because I got to work with you on a one-to-one basis. And it's just wonderful. Everything you do covers exactly what this retreat stands for. You cover the business, you cover spirituality, and you look at well-being. It's the whole package. So could you talk a bit about where you feel you add to each and every one of those things? I know I've known you for years now, but can you share with the audience the different things that you offer, and so they can see exactly where they can work with you and where you can help them, please?
Well, I think, you know, what you're doing with this retreat is perfect, and it's the understanding, and we all know it, but whether or not whether or not we act on what we know is two different things. And it's all about balance. There is no separation between business and spirituality and wellness. It's oneness. And this is the thing, because, and I've been there where I put all of my focus into business, all of my focus into making money, all of my focus to build businesses, all of that. But then, it's like a wheel. And I know a lot of people out there talk about, the wheel of balance. Is because when you're out of balance, then things can't succeed. Well, they can, but it's bloody hard work, and there's so much sacrifice. And what I wasn't aware of is, as I was running businesses and owning businesses and, climbing the corporate ladders, as well as, everything else materialistic, I wasn't looking after my body. I wasn't looking after my health as much. I wasn't giving myself free time. I wasn't actually being. I was continually doing things. I was always on the go. And, as far as you say about the health and about the spirituality, it wasn't really high up on my agenda. I didn't really know about it. And once you become aware of this, and this is the word I use all the time, as you know, awareness is key. And once we start being aware of situations, people, opportunities, then we're opening our quantum field into synchronicities. We're opening our quantum field into opportunities. And when we start talking about spirituality, the spirituality is us. We're beings. We are souls in a human body, and nobody, can say that's not true. We are energy. That is a fact, and we can talk about spirituality, and we can talk about science and all the rest of things. I study it in depth massively. As you know, I'm an avid student of all of these things, as well as a teacher. We're always learning. If we're not learning, we're dying. And when you actually understand that, the spirituality, it's not back as it was, years ago. Oh, you're a spiritual person, you've got to run naked in the full moon around a teepee and start chanting. Do you know what I mean? That's the kind of thought process of, I'm just saying, many people that have spoken to me, they think, oh, you're spiritual, is that what you do now? And you wear crystals, but that's the era that I'm in. But it's because they're not aware. And I do believe, especially in 2020 and coming forward, is that people, many people are actually opening their eyes. They're starting to become enlightened. They're starting to be aware. And then once they're aware of the spiritual world and the business world working together, and this is the thing that, I know that I was put on this earth to do. It's taken me 46 years to find out, or maybe 40 years, because I've been working on it for many years, to actually find out that once it's just the bridge. It's actually knowing that you can be in both camps at the same time, and it's about balance. And this is really how I live my life. This is what I do. It's about balancing everything. It's about, the harmony, the balance of masculine and feminine, yin and yang, up and down, back and forth. You need that polarity of everything. And that's the business and the spirituality. And then we start talking about the health. I'm a massive, not to say, okay, massive. Okay, there's many more massive health freaks out there, but I do think it's massively important. I'm currently, yesterday, started a 30-day pineal gland detoxification to decalcify my pineal glands, and it's pretty intense. And as you know, every single month I do gallstone and liver cleanses. Don't get me wrong, I'm a chef from trade, so I love my food, but everything, I'm aware of what I eat. And, I'm not rigid. I do have that balance, but it all comes together. And when we're whole and we do it together, and, as you know, my program, it's once you align your life, then you create magic. And that's aligning your life in business. It's aligning your life in spirituality, and it's aligning your life, as I say, in wellness, which is what you're doing at your retreat, which is perfect.
And well, as you're speaking, I'm getting love bumps, because you've taught me they're not goosebumps, they're love bumps. And this is where it resonates so well. And I found when I've been speaking to corporate people, especially on LinkedIn, when I first started sharing about the retreat, I was getting back, I've never thought about that. I can't see that business and spirituality can work together. And then all these people jumped on and said, yes, they can, because that's the way they live their life. And it's the synchronicities. And as you said, right at the very beginning, it's oneness. It's all of that coming together. And I can even go back to when I first spoke to you about you being my business coach. And we had the Zoom call, and you waited until 10 o'clock at night because I was travelling back from Westminster, and I sat there on the bed with the computer and I spoke to you, and just something came in and I said about crystals, and you just burst out laughing because I shared the crystals that I carried in my pencil case put everywhere, and then you shared and the synchronicities and how it all aligns and works together. And this is what I think the retreat really embodies. One, it gives everyone a chance. I'm going to run these every 3 months. And this one, I want to show positivity post-lockdown, because all we hear from the media is negativity or doom and gloom, things aren't working. Now, you and I know businesses, time immemorial, when there's been a recession, some people don't do so well, others thrive. So you can't say it's all negative. So I wanted to put that, be it a young or a more established business, people have the chance to share with a global audience what they offer, maybe connect and become clients, but just connect and share what it is that they've got. And you taught me that. And everything you're doing actually epitomizes everything I've been sharing. And something you did mention that I would love you to share a bit more about is your align your life with magic. Yes, I'm in your container. You know, I've done video testimonials and everything. I love what you do. It's absolutely brilliant. And I'd say the work you've done in that container is what has helped me to produce the retreat, because you do all the work in the background. Could you share a little bit about that? Because I think, have you got a new container coming up in the near future? Or am I behind on the times? Because I know I'm playing catch up on some things.
Yeah, no, as I said, just quickly going back to what you were just saying earlier when you were talking about the positive and the negativity of what people think that they're going through with this lockdown. It's how people pivot when you're in situations like that. And there's many people that have made a huge amount of success, a huge amount of money out of this situation that we've been in with the lockdown. But there's other people that have actually realised that it's not all about the money. It's not all about the push. It's not all about the drive. You know, I see so many people that are going within. They're actually spending more time with their family. They're spending more time with themselves. They're really kind of, you know, feeling space. And, you know, and I you know, there's many people, especially in my tribe as well, is that you think, okay, well, I'm not earning the money. But then you realize that, you know, all the work that you were doing for the money that was coming in and the sacrifices, and then, you know, they're spending more time thinking, okay, well, I'll cut that and I won't pay for that, and I'll cut that, and I'll, you know, and I will prune, you know, I will actually prune. It was the time of spring. It was pruning time. And then when you start pruning, and then you start then, you know, harvest, you know, literally sowing the seeds ready for harvest and everything else, then the abundance comes through, because we're all working with energy. So you know, there are so many different ways of bringing in the you know, the positives and the negatives of the pivotal people, the people that have pivoted during this lockdown.
Definitely, that is brilliant. That really is. And as well, it's nice to actually see that and to share it, because you did it far more eloquently than I could.
No, well, it's not. It's just that, you know, a lot of people have made sacrifices financially, and they've had to, because, you know, they haven't been working, or they've been furloughed, or, you know, a lot of people try and turn things online, and that's been an investment and things like that. And we just got to be raw and real about it. You know, I used to travel the world. I had an event in St. Lucia, a big international event on the 20th and the 21st of June. I put a huge amount of investment, time and energy into that even before. And, you know, all of, you know, you've got to think, okay, what's going to come out of that? You know, I've still got the relationships, and you've got to look at it a different way. And, you know, we'll talk about this later on, but I put myself definitely into service mode. Yeah, I made sacrifices. I cut this and I cut that. And I thought, okay, well, I don't need that anymore. And I don't need that anymore. And, I'm not spending all my time in restaurants and wine bars because they're closed, which is absolutely great. So you realize how much money actually used to go into living the lifestyle in 5-star hotels and things. And, you're not spending that. So, there are it's going back to the awareness of it, but it's also when you then have the time to go into service mode. And then when you go into service mode, which is what you're doing, Pearl, and this is what I'm really proud of you as well, is that, we've had these conversations many times, is that when you just think, okay, let's not focus on the return. And this is hard from a business person as well. Let's not focus on the numbers, the figures and the return and how much I'm going to get. And I'm going to get 10 people and those 10 people are going to be this. And this is how much it's going to be. And then and when we don't focus on that and we just focus on the pure service, the pure giving, and enjoy what we're doing, the energy is then just so electric and we're aligning with the energies, then it seems magical that what you want and what you desire and the abundance and the clients and maybe just the windfalls just appear. And this is why I use the word magic. And some people say to me, well, that's just a load of rubbish. And I say, well, until you experience it. And I've got to say that I've experienced it from being the person that's chased the money, being the person that's had the massive paychecks, being the person that's been on that side, and then the person that's been on the other side as well. But you've got to have the trust and you've got to have the faith. So I just wanted to jump that in there before I talk about Align Your Life.
That makes just perfect sense. And as always, you have so much information to share. And I've already got aha moments from this. And I know that the listeners and the watchers from this will actually see. And I say to the listeners, this is why this lady is the platinum sponsor, because so much that you share fits into every area of everyone's life. And you have so much wisdom to share. So, of course, on the Pearls of Wisdom, I'm going to find the people that have the wisdom to share. And you are number one on my list because you do know so much. And I will now, sorry, I've been talking too much. I'm going to let you talk about Align Your Life with Magic now.
Oh, thank you. Well, again, Align Your Life with Magic was a creation. And if I talk about how it was created, it was, I don't know if you know this, Pearl, but it was a card reading. It was a card that I took out of my one of my oracle decks, because I'm certified with Hay House to do angel and oracle card readings. And as you know, I spend a lot of time with crystals and with cards, and I do a lot of spiritual work, quantum healing. And I was doing a card reading for myself, and this Align Your Life came out, this card. And it just literally as if it, I do many card readings for myself, but this Align Your Life came out and it was just like a boom, as if this card just jumped straight into my heart. And I was just like, oh my gosh. And it came from there. It was just like it was inputted into my body. And this is the thing that we spoke about this earlier, that when we can create things, and we create things from downloads, we create things from guidance, then that is when the foundations are solid. If we create things because we're copying somebody else, or we see somebody else doing things, we think, oh, that's great, and our creation is from that vibration, then that creation has not got solid foundations. They're very weak foundations. So I know that especially with the Align Your Life and HIT Talks, but they're divine downloads, because Align Your Life came into my heart. It was just like, as I say, and the beginning of 2020, three of the words that the energies of 2020 that I believed was going to carry us through 2020 was clarity, magic, and boundaries, I think it was. But so I love the word magic, and, it just kind of came together, Align Your Life with Magic. And it was very much started off about my journey, because when I came across from the business world into the spiritual world, I was blessed from the sacrifices and the hard work that I had the abundance to be able to go out into the world, travel the world, and spend hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of pounds seeking the mentors and the tutors and the retreats for me to suck up the wisdom. And it was an amazing journey for me. It really was an amazing journey, and I have managed, and I have sucked up the wisdom, and I'm constantly learning. I'm still got coaches. I'm on a course this week where it's 5 hour a day course that I'm a student in, and so I'm sucking it. I'm always sucking in the wisdom. But I had I had that background that I was able to just stop work and say, okay, that's it. I'm just putting all in now for me to understand what's on the other side of the bridge, for instance. And there's many out there that haven't got that privilege, for instance, or they've got the fear that it's like, okay, I'm not too sure whether or not this is my journey. And don't get me wrong, I truly, truly believe that anybody that wants to succeed, that you can't succeed alone. And I would never have succeeded without my coaches and my guides, because you have athletes and you have all these world-class inspirational athletes out there, and people that they've all got coaches, and they've all got guides, they've got people to actually help them keep on track. But I digress. So it was created out of service. It was created out of, okay, I've got all of this, and I have I don't want to use the word the privilege, but the blessing that I was able to pull in all this wisdom. But I wanted to share all this wisdom out with everyday people. And so the Align Your Life Magic container was actually brought in to be for a low price point, for me to be able to share my magic, for me to be able to share my wisdom, but not just the wisdom of me, because I am, again, I'm Vikki Thomas. A lot of the wisdom that comes through from the higher guides. I'm channel. It comes through from the angels, the masters, the saints, the sages. But obviously, I still have the wisdom from my business knowledge, my financial background. How to grow businesses, build businesses, and then I have the quantum healing. So it's aligning everything together with the health, the wealth, and the spirituality. And then what I absolutely love about Align Your Life with Magic is the energies of the day, that I show up absolutely every single day. Now, this I have to share with you as well, Pearl, you may not know as well, is that years ago I had I had an issue with commitment. And this was due to underlying self-doubts of inner child and everything else, that I would try and commit to something and I would just not commit. And I'd say, okay, I'm going to do this, and then I'd get to a certain point, and then I would just give it all up, because I would self-sabotage myself. And so in a way of me declaring to the universe that I'm going to show up every single day was also a growth for me, for my commitment to be able to show up every day, because we're always growing. And so it was my commitment to the universe to say to the universe, okay, well, I'm going to show up every single day for these ladies, as well as for them, but also for me. And the working with the ancient, I work with, as you know, with the ancient Mayans and the sacred Mayan calendar. And, I've been on a journey with the sacred Mayan calendar as well, finding out even deeper wisdom of it. But sharing this with the ladies on a daily basis, the synchronicities, and you can share a little bit about this, but the synchronicities, I can't use any other word than just magical, because sometimes I actually need to pinch myself when I understand what I've shared, and then I understand the energies of the day and what we're all going through, because I know every single person on a one-to-one basis. And the groups are no more than 13 people. I will not have groups of 20, 30, 40, 50, 100, where people can't be raw and real. People feel lost. People don't feel special. So I'm just going to break a little bit here now, just for you to share a bit, because I've got so much more I need to share, but I can also tell that I'm just talking, because I'm so excited.
Oh, yes, I can confirm everything. For Align Your Life with Magic, the container that I'm in, the connection I have with every one of those ladies is just phenomenal. It's so many synchronicities, because I know I've got that word, because you use synchronicities, and I use it absolutely everywhere now, because I just think, yes, I can see it. Down to some of the ladies in the group, yes, we've connected externally because we've got so many similarities. Because of doing the retreat, I haven't been as involved on a daily basis as I used to, but I reach out to you, I reach out to some of the ladies, and you still know that my energy's there. I'm getting love bumps again, just talking about it's connecting with all the ladies. And we support each other. It's such a nurturing environment. And it's strange when you're having like maybe a down day and you share something, that synchronicity, we're all felt it because it's the energies of that day. Likewise, when the abundance is coming in, it comes in for all of us because, again, we're working with those energies and the work that you're doing behind the scenes to help us all. I cannot just say any more than that. If you're on the fence and thinking, should I work with Vikki? I'm the person, say yes, yes, yes. Go out there, move heaven and earth and work with Vikki, because ever since I've connected with you, my life has got better and better. Yes, I've had down times, and that's when you give me a good kick and say, right, come on, Pearl, no more down in the dumps. You can do this. As I've said before, and people that see the testimonials, you trusted in me when I didn't trust in me. And you gave me the faith that I could achieve and do things, because before it was always like a dream. I knew I could do it, but like you say, that self-sabotage would come in and I'd get so far and I'd stop myself doing it. So I could stand back and say, no, see, I can't do it. Whereas you have always, always, always had faith in me. And I love you to bits for that. I really do. I can't promote you enough for the way you've helped me.
Oh, well, thank you. You've done it. I'm just there. You talk about the guardian angels. I'm just there to wrap my wings around the ladies in the container and nurture them. And it's when you need to release things. It's my wings that will actually transmute the fear and the self-sabotages and the self-doubt. And I just want to kind of use this analogy because people might be thinking, what on earth are you talking about, the energies of the day and all this sort of stuff? And, understanding it. It's one of the amazing stories that I'd like to kind of share really about how we can understand the energies and understand the nature, because what the container does when we work with the energies and I work with the guidance that I'm given, that I share. Obviously I do a lot of work behind the scenes, which you'll get meditations or transmissions just out of the blue, and then we're working with, we're nature, we're energy, we know that, okay, we know the power of the universe, and how it's amazing how you can put this little seed into the ground and a little bit of water and then just give it time, and then you've got this amazing oak tree. You just got to think of something as simple as that, or a tiny seed and it turns into this most beautiful flower, and you think that's just magical. It's just magical. But it's the it's the energy that the universe has. So the story is that about the people that have swam the channel. So they're able to swim from Dover to Calais, and they however far it is, 26 miles or whatever it is, but they swim the channel. And there's many people that have done it. However, you're only able to swim the channel if you get in the water at a certain time. Okay, so they have to get into the water at a certain time, but it's high tide or something else like that. I've never swum the channel, so I don't know. But they have to get into the water at a certain time. And the reason that they have to get in the water at a certain time is because the tide will then carry them and help them, support them and carry them to get halfway. And then there's another tide from the French tide or the Calais tide or whatever else to push them the other way. So what I'm trying to say is that anyone that gets in to swim the channel, if they didn't get in a certain time, then the tide would not carry them and they would not get across the channel. And that is a fact. And it's because it's the nature. And if you get in at any other time, or you try swimming the channel at a different tide, and you try swimming against the tide, there is no physical way that you're able to do it. And it's because when you do it at the right time, you've got the energies to support you. You've got nature to support you. And when you understand the natural cycle, then you understand the days that you're able to do things. So we will all feel that sometimes we're creating a container, or we're doing something, and or we're trying to achieve something, and we're putting all the work in, and we're just constantly doing the work, and we're putting the hours in, and we're doing it, and we're thinking, oh my God, and nothing seems to fall into place. And it's just like, oh my God, it's just not happening. It's not just happening. And then there's other times that you maybe sit back in your meditation chair, or you'll be going for a walk in nature, or you'll be doing some things, and then somebody will just connect with you, and synchronicities just happen, and things just fall into place. And then there's either a client or there's an opportunity, and it just seems to fall into place. And you think, oh my God, how's that happened? And you can resonate with these different scenarios. And the reason being is, if you understand the cycle, the natural, and I'm not talking about the moon here, even though that is supportive as well. But when you're talking about the natural cycle and understanding the energies of when you should do things, then you've got more support than you can ever possibly think of Facebook ads or anything else like that. You've got universal support, and that's what it means. So I do in the container, we talk about the daily energies. Today we should pay our bills, we should pay any debts, we should go and do things like this. Today we should just spend the day going out in nature. Today, if you're feeling tired, just switch everything off and just go to sleep. Do you know what I mean? And it's understanding the energies, and this is why. And I've got to use the word absolutely. Even for me, still, synchronicity and magical is that I decided, which you touched on, is that I've never done it before, because people come to me through connection and energy flow. But I decided to do a 5-day free trial for the Align Your Life with Magic container, where people can come in free, experience the magic, and then they decide whether or not they want to stay in the container, or whether or not they decide that, thank you very much, Vikki, for those 5 days. It's been absolutely amazing. And they carry on their own journey. So I thought I would do the 5 days. And then I was thinking about the days, and I was like, okay, I'm going to start it on the 13th of August, the 5-day container, the free start on the 13th. And I thought, okay, I'm going to do the 13th. And the reason I'm going to do the 13th is because 13th is a powerful number. It's the goddess number, and also because I've got my HIT Talks on the 14th, and so many other things coming up. And so, okay, so I'd made that in my mind, and I told my team, this is what we're going to start to do. Haven't done anything towards it, Pearl. I cancelled my podcast with you yesterday because I was supposed to be getting things planned up and getting everything ready for it. Still haven't done anything to start this 5-day container on the 13th. And I was with my coach last night, and he said about the day of the 13th of August in my makeup, in my kinds of ancient sacred makeup of the ancient calendar. And he said the 13th is a new path. The 13th is a new start. It's a beginning of a new cycle. And I was getting love bumps all over my body, like unbelievable. And he was just saying, it's the day, Vikki, for everything to happen for you. I was just like, did you know that I was going to be launching a 5-day free container on this day? And he was like, no. And I said, but I still haven't done anything towards it. I still haven't done the page. I still haven't done anything about it. And starts in 2 days. And he was saying, just trust. So I will get a page up there, and I will get something out there, but I'm still trusting that people will come in. But this is the magic. It was just like, even though I work with it every day, and it was just like, and then the podcast today, because I moved it from yesterday, the podcast today is in my year of the dog, which is what my year, which I'm not going to go to too much. You'll find out, people find out in the container all about the sacred mind calendar and the individual energies. And it's all about loyalty. It's all about serve. It's all about giving. And I was like, of course, this is why I changed from yesterday to today. It's just all these things come in, and it's just like, oh my God.
Oh, but this is where I learn from you. And like you say, the love bumps, as you were saying that, I could feel them as well. I think any listener and anyone watching this will feel it. And when you say for the synchronicities, where I started doing Serenity Radio, my radio show, and I know you're going to be a guest on my new radio show that's coming up, I've met a lady, Jo Dupfield, and she does spirituality. She's been posting about the Mayan calendar, and I got all this, and I got so excited. And I said, synchronicities, because not only is it that I've learned from you, I've got such a resonance with Jo as well. And it's like the overlap. It's as if it's this big triangle where all three of us were meant to connect and work. And like you say, synchronicities, this is where the universe, our guides work in such a fantastic way. And sometimes you don't realise until it's happened or it's happening. And then suddenly you get this wow moment and you think, like you said, this is all the work that's put in. And it synchronises on the right day that works for everyone. And we all just come together and then we just amplify that message. And it just feels so right. I mean, yesterday I had a full calendar. Every one of the people I had cancelled, and that was telling me I'd worked all through the weekend doing landing pages and everything, and I needed to rest. And it's almost like the universe worked for me to say, no, enough is enough. You've got a busy week. Take the time, step back and work on yourself. And this is where the synchronicity is, and everything you're teaching us comes together. It's just wonderful.
Well, it's balance and it's alignment. And what I aim to do with the container is that when I talk about the energies every single day, so everybody will, as you know, everybody gets a voice recording. You know, we run it through Telegram, and it was run through Facebook. But then when Facebook decides to go through their weirdness and then close your pages down and ban you and block you from doing things, then people lose out. And it's, you know, so anyway, so everybody hears from me every single day with an energy update and supportive update as well. And as you know, that there's the questions and the answers where we're able to support each other, and I'm able to support people in the group. There's periodic meditations and quantum healing sessions. Then every 2 weeks we do live training, which is on a Zoom call, where the training is mixed towards the energy of each container. So the containers depend on, I feel every single person in the container, because as the last training, I was the last training, the training before last, we spoke about the energy of money. And then I was following on the training when we were talking about the energy of money. I was following on the training more of a very structured energy. But then I felt into how potent that training had been for people, that it brought up so much stuff that for me to go back into talking more about money and talk about energy of money and talking more of the kind of business side, the tribe wasn't ready. So the next training was more of kind of quantum spirituality, more kind of downloads, more readings, more very much energy focused, because I could feel. And then all the ladies were like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad that came through, because I'm still working on that last training from 2 weeks ago. So I really do feel into the tribe, and that's why each container is only a maximum of 13 people, because then there is that 13 is the goddess number, 13 is a magical number, 13 is all about completion, 13 is all about ascension. And this is what we want to do. We want to complete our purpose. We want to complete the understanding and the awareness of what we're here for. And we also want to, you know, be, we all want to ascend. But this is where we connect to the spiritual world in the number 13. So there's no more than that amount of people in there. And I love every single person in there. And I've been in groups before, and this is why I do it like this, is I've been in groups before in my journey where there's 30, 40, 50, hundreds of people in there. And you just get lost. You get lost. You have, and if you've got a person that doesn't want to speak out, you know, we've got somebody in our group and, you know, she's not that great in speaking out. But when she speaks out, God, doesn't she touch our hearts?
Yes.
Massively touch us. And we're like, oh my gosh. But, you know, she says to me every single day, if I was in any other group, I would not even be able to share what I'm sharing. And I'm only sharing once a week, perhaps, when other people may share 5 times a day, there's no right or wrong, but it's given people that love, it's given people that space, and it's given people that nurturing for that they're able to do that, where they're not lost in the crowd, they're not just a number. Yeah. And you know, and I love every single person dearly.
Yes, and I can vouch for everything you've said there. And I go back to say that connection with all the ladies in the container, and we all nurture and help each other. And yes, there are certain members that don't say so often, but like you say, when they do share, it's pearls of wisdom. It really is. It's just this. It's like a lightning bolt that the wisdom they bring to the group, it's an aha moment for all of us, because they might show it in a slightly different light, or they will help in everything. And it's brilliant. And like you say, some of the larger groups, everyone talks, it's like with the social media thing where they say all numbers, the higher the number, the better it is. No, it isn't, because you don't connect with everyone. When you've got a large group, you cannot be your authentic self. You cannot hear your voice, because there's always going to be people that will push harder and they will silence those that really need to speak. Yet in your containers, there's space for each and every one of us to grow, to learn, to use our authentic voice. And in so doing, we help each other as well. I cannot promote it enough. I just love it, because everything you've ever taught me, like I said before, I grow in so many different ways. Sometimes I don't see it straight away. And then suddenly you look back and you realise it's become a habit that you're doing. And it's like I hear your voice in my head and I think, yes, Vikki's saying that. And it's like I go through things and it's all your teaching and all your training that's done that. And that the container is probably one of the best ways, other than one-to-one, that I've ever worked with you, because you've got the right mix and you choose those people so specially to come together. So we all align, and then we align with the magic that you're sharing with us.
And that's why I love that you said that, because that's why it's called Align Your Life with Magic. And as you see that some ladies have been moved out of that container, and that's because of guidance, that, you know, moving them into different containers. Because once you understand once you understand energies and you understand the people, and as you know, I make sure that I know every single person's birthday in that container. I know the birthdays, and then I check out what your sign is in the ancient Mayan calendar. And, you know, so I do a lot of background work, and so I know, okay, well, these ladies from the energetic perspective, they're going to work in here and they're going to work in there, so you can support each other. You know, if I put, I don't know the analogy, I was going to say, okay, I'm going to say what I was going to say. It doesn't really make sense, but I was going to say, if I put a butterfly in a cage with a dog, the dog would eat the butterfly. I don't know why those two animals came out. I'm going to Google it after, because, you know, maybe dogs eat butterflies. But what I'm trying to say is that you've got to understand the makeup of the person for the synchronicities to happen. And other people say to me as well, oh, I'm in so many containers, I'm in so many programs, I'm in so many of these free things and all this sort of stuff, and I just haven't got the time, I've got work to do. And that is something why I do it through Telegram, and that's why I do voice notes. And the voice notes can be between 2 minutes, 10 minutes to 15 minutes, depending on the energies. And what I truly believe is that if somebody doesn't listen to a voice note that day, they don't need to listen to the voice note. But then when they listen to the voice note and they'd say, oh my God, that's exactly what I've been going through today, through the energies, or that's exactly how I've been feeling, or that's just given me the guidance of whether or not to go to work, or whether or not to stay on the sofa today, or whatever. Everything happens for a reason. And then when you listen it to Telegram, you can lie in the bath, you can drive your car, you can walk to the supermarket, and you can listen to my voice recording wherever. So when anyone says, I haven't got the time, that's just an excuse. And that excuse comes from fear of your growth, of your fear, you know, your body is actually, you know, your body is in survival mode. That's how we live. We live in survival mode, or majority of us live in survival mode. And it's just your body saying that, you know, don't grow, don't grow, don't grow, don't grow. And you've got this little, you know, this little black devil on your shoulder. So there's no excuse, because you can always listen to those in the voice recordings at any time. All the activations, again, you know, they're all video recorded, so you can watch those back at any time. All the trainings are video recorded, you can watch that back any time. We do lots of you know, little things about putting pictures in the group. There's so many different things, but it doesn't have to be every single day. It'll be the day that feels right for you.
And that just feels wonderful, because I know I reached out to you, and when I've been so busy, I don't always commute with the container as often as I used to, because I'm busier. But that's what you said to me. You said, Pearl, we feel your energy. And it is, well, you know, I reach out and I keep you up to what's going on and what's happening. And like some of the other ladies in the group, we've connected externally, which is what you said would happen. Because as well, you get into Facebook groups, and I got into the habit of sharing what was going on. And then you said, Pearl, that's not the right energy for this group. And it taught me, because it's almost a habit you get into. And when you take that away of this is what I've done, this is what I've done, and step back and say, how can I help you? How are we working together? The shifts and the changes that happen, it's just fantastic. It really is. And I say again, you taught me that. You teach me so many things.
Well, it's they always say, you know, say I'm always learning, and I'm always with new coaches and mentors, as well as the ones I've continually had. And they always say is that when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And that's the thing. And this is why I wanted to do, or I was guided to do, this 5-day free offering, is because people might not know that they're ready. People might not understand. People might not really trust who their teacher is going to be, because there is so many people out there now on social media and on online offering so many people. And you can't. So sometimes we don't have the ability to know whether or not it's truthful, because it's so easy to say, oh, I've done this, I've done that, I've done this, I've done that, look at me. And it's using your intuition and your trust, because I've been caught in it, where I've looked up at the people, I thought, oh, they're amazing, look at this, and they've got this, and I just want to be like these people. And, you know, I've invested money into these people thinking I really, really want to be like them. And, you know, I've kind of turned them into gods or goddesses, which is the wrong thing to do. And I always say that if anyone, you know, you don't turn anyone into a god and goddess, you're your own god and goddess. But this is what I was doing. But then when I really kind of got a little bit further in, and, you know, and they're running their business from, you know, the back of a car, for instance, or something else like that, and they haven't achieved all the things that they said they were doing, and, you know, and it just doesn't align to me. There isn't the authenticity there. And sometimes it's difficult to differentiate about the people have actually, you know, got the medal in a way. And okay, that's very egotistic, getting the medal, Vikki, so don't talk like that. That have actually done the work and actually fallen over the hurdles, I'm going to shut up, you know what I mean.
but this is why I have connected.
I'm just being raw and real, but, you know, that's what I want everyone else to be.
But this is what you've taught me, and this is what I fell in love with. I can remember seeing you as a speaker at a particular event when I first connected with you, and the moment I heard you speak, I just knew I had to connect with you. And I know I went home and I reached out on Facebook and on LinkedIn and everything. And I know I tell the story in the testimonial videos that I almost became a stalker, but a very nice stalker. I wasn't really weird. At least I like to hope I wasn't weird. But you inspired me so much. And everything you did, and you went out of your way to help other people. And you gave me that motivation. Like I said at the beginning, all right, I didn't get to your event with Baroness Michelle Mone, but I saw bits that you'd shared. But I was talking to you practically every day with that about what I was doing, what I was trying to do. And it was when I was in those pits and falls with contracting. And the day I got my contract, I remember messaging you. I left you a voice message because I was so excited. And as soon as I got my contract, the first thing I did is said, yes, I want to work with you on a one-to-one basis. And what you did with my business, I know we've been talking the spiritual side, but your business acumen, what you have achieved and what you bring, I have always learned from that as well. Always. And it is where you bring it all together, and it's that knowledge that anyone that works with you, you receive all of that. You give 100, 150, 2,000%. You give your all to every single person that you work with. And if people can't see that, it's just, I want to go bash them with a big stick. But no, I'm not supposed to be like that. I'm supposed to be love and light and not tell them.
But again, I've had to go through the journey for that myself as well, because, when I decided to leave all of the masculine corporate, because there's masculine and feminine, and I had to learn because very, very a lot of my teachings, even a couple of years ago, was all about the spirituality. It was all about the card reading. It was all about the quantum healing. It was all about the connection and everything else. And that's still there, but it was also that I had to learn. And again, it was a mentor of mine. I'm saying, okay, we'll bring it both together, because as a chartered surveyor and somebody in property, I understand foundations, I understand business buildings, and I understand obviously businesses, and they've got to be built on solid foundations. And so when we talk about foundations, in the business world, we talk about business plans, and we talk about what our vision statements were, and et cetera, et cetera. And then in the spiritual world, my foundations are built on a crystal, and we've spoken about this in the group before. And my foundations are built on trust, on freedom, on love, and on joy. And then the letters means transmute fear, love jumps in, or light jumps in, whichever one we want to use. And so they're my foundations. And so they're spiritual foundations, but they're also the foundations of my businesses as well. So if I build my businesses on trust, I build my businesses on freedom for me, but freedom for everybody is part of my business. If I build my business on love, and I build my business on joy that we all want to experience the joy of the universe, of our life here. And if you look at it from that perspective, and you build from there, you can only create magic. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, totally agree. Now, I know we've taken up almost a full hour here, so I'm going to draw it to a close to some respect. I could talk to you all day long, Vikki. I really could. I think the listeners.
I'll start the charging ticket, Pearl. Do you know what I mean?
If we bring this back to the retreat and where you could actually share, I mean, this is going to go out, so anyone that's listening to this, we will put details in the description how you can reach out to Vikki to take part in the 5-day challenge and everything, and actually see that container. Unless is that already full, or do you have spaces?
No, I'm going to do it today. So no, I'm going to do it. I'm going to open it up today. But as I say, they're going to be 13 people in each container. So nobody needs to worry about, I'm not going to get in, because I will, I'm here to serve, and I absolutely love what I'm doing. And again, I also want to say that, this is not a sacrifice to me. And when you love what you do, and it's part of your life, and it is your life, then this is where everything just aligns, because I can be in St. Lucia, as you know, and I can be in all these different places, and I can be down by the beach in the water, and I'm still able to do what I do for you all, if not more potently. So I'm going to actually get it all. I'm going to get it all put up today.
And this is absolutely brilliant. And I also say to the listeners and to the watchers, Vikki is going to be a guest on my brand new show that will be coming out through Serenity. It's going to be Pearls of Wisdom. As you know, my original show is Pearls of Wisdom. It's going to be Pearls of Wisdom interviews. And Vikki is going to be one of the first guests that I interview. So make sure you follow and see, because she will be sharing so much information with you. So it just leaves.
I've just come down here. Sorry, Pearl. I think on that one, I'm going to talk a little bit about the money and energy. I think a little bit on that one. That's what's coming through at the moment. So it'd be good to share with your viewers and your listeners a little bit more about abundance, and a little bit more about just create a little bit more money and some bit more wealth and a bit more energy. And yeah.
Oh, absolutely love that. So definitely. So is there anything else that you feel, Dawn, that you need to share that your guides are telling you that people need to know today?
No, because I think people will feel whether or not they want support and guidance. I do urge anybody that, one of the things I don't actually do free containers very often, because people don't appreciate free. And I know that, and I've been in that space as well. And this is why I did it for 5 days. And I don't know why I did it for 5 days, because my number's 9. and ate. And anyway, but I was guided to do it 5 days. And again, I would say that was the energies of it starting on the 13th, which is the new path. And then, okay, and that's why it's finishing on 5 days, because 5 days is where people come into the paid container. Then after that, then that starts on a T-hash day, and T-hash is where we cut through the shit, excuse my French, but this is where we cut through blockages. This is where we really start the new journey. And so that is why energetically we're doing it for the 5 days, of course.
Absolutely perfect. And this is where I see Vikki working like this on a daily basis, where you get those divine downloads. You'll be saying something and you know that, yes, this is said for a reason. We literally see you as you're getting those downloads. And it's
full moon. It's oh no, it's not. It's the day before. It's a full moon. So obviously that's why as well.
Exactly. And it'll be, I cannot promote this enough, because what Vikki offers, as you've heard me say, and any testimonials you've seen and across, and most of my social media, you will see that I've been saying how fantastic it is to work with Vikki. So it just leaves me to say thank you once again.
You're more than welcome, and well done in everything that you're doing, pulling things together. And I've seen your growth, and you know the work that you've been doing, but also the being that you've been doing in the background. And that's fundamentally important, is that, you know, for us to be able to trust, and for us to be able to create from the right space, and not let the people around us, as you know, as we've been talking about, but let the people around us that are trying to sabotage us, or the people that are perhaps not on the right vibration, to bring down your service. And that's what you're doing. So well done.
Thank you so much. And I just say to listeners and to viewers, watch this space, because we'll be sharing with Vikki a lot more in the future. Thank you, Vikki. Thank you.
You're more than welcome. Have an amazing day, everybody.
Thank you.